Well, hello, my name's Treesap, and I'm here to talk about Brotato. This game is pretty straightforward. You play as a potato, you're trying to survive waves of aliens. Every 20 waves, there's a boss fight, and all you do is basically control the movement. Attacks happen automatically. You have ranged weapons and melee weapons, and wherever their range is, when you're close enough to an enemy, the attack happens. There's variables in terms of speed, and your weapons have basically recharge rates to when they're ready to do their next attack, and this varies from weapon to weapon. It can also differ based on your stats or items that you get. But despite it being simple in that way, when you get into the stats of your characters, when you get into all the item combinations, weapon combinations, and you get into the particular characters that you can use, because there's a variety of characters you unlock basically through getting achievements. That's really what it is, and just accomplishing different tasks. You can really tune the game to how you want it to be. Some of it's based on RNG because you have to be lucky enough to get certain weapons and certain items. But some of that can be altered based on your luck stat, one of the many stats you have, because you have primary and secondary stats. Primary stats are things like attack speed, luck, engineering, health regeneration, stuff like that. And secondary would be things like piercing, weapon penetration, stuff like that. And once you get into all those details, that's when the game really opens up, when you're kind of trying to figure out how to have the best build to make it through a particular challenge. Because this game, as the waves go on, it ramps up in difficulty to a point where it gets incredibly difficult not to just die in a matter of minutes. I don't even know why I'm saying minutes, literal seconds. Because you can die on a wave that doesn't even last a minute. And there are levels in terms of the difficulty. It starts off at 0, it can go all the way up to like 5. And you unlock these by just going through different waves and beating the boss. And though the movement is relatively simple, you're not doing any dodging and rolling. Well, you do dodge, but dodge is something that happens automatically based on your dodge stat. But there is some level of complexity that comes to the movement, basically just focusing on spacing, having the right distance from your enemy, depending on what your build is like, especially when doing melee attacks. So you want to be close enough to do damage, but not too close that you end up getting overwhelmed. And you can easily panic and get yourself into a corner, which could be good if you have a certain type of build going and you're doing a lot of high range damage and you're basically just destroying enemies faster than they can get to you. But if that's not what your build is like, getting yourself stuck in a corner or positioning yourself in a not great spot can easily just get you overwhelmed. And this is a game you can sink basically endless hours into, because yes, they have like a basic mode where you just go through like 20 waves and it's over, but also endless mode, which is endless. There's probably someone out there who's gotten like 500 waves or something like that, but I ain't that guy, I'll be real with you. I've been playing this game and I'm just trying my best to get as high as I can, but it always seems like I mess up on the smallest little thing and end up getting just absolutely annihilated. But all those combined factors I just talked about are the reason I think this is a perfect game, because it's just straightforward. It's something that I feel like you can get into quite easily, but if you really want to master it, it'll take a lot of time and a lot of skill and a lot of planning to get the right build, because this game is meant to be cheesed. You're meant to find the most overpowered combination of weapons, items, and character bonuses to really give yourself the ability to just annihilate anything within your path and make it as far as possible. And since I bought the game, there have been a few updates that add new stuff, new characters, and I'm interested to see what they do in the future, because this is one of those titles I feel like the developers are going to work on for a long time, because it has that evergreen value, one of those games that can really just last for a long time, and it's relatively inexpensive. I got it for less than $5. The base price of it's $4.99, so maybe it's on sale now when you're listening to this. Go pick it up. It's worth every cent. You get your money's worth with this game. This is one of those games when I was a kid I probably would have put easily like a few hundred hours in, and even now I'll probably put a few hundred hours in depending on things I have to do here and there. And one of the final things I want to touch on is something that doesn't affect gameplay, but it's really a nice touch I enjoy, which is all the items your character gets shows up on the character themselves, and that's something I like to see. It's just a nice little aesthetic thing as you get to see your character getting piled up with all these different items, and I think that's just a nice little cherry on top of this whole game and adds to its aesthetic. And maybe I should talk about visuals. I know I just said that's the last thing, but the more I think about it, there's more to add. The aesthetic of this game is simple, very simple. You have your basic little potato, a white potato. I guess he's peeled or something, and he's just going through these hordes of aliens. Everything's simple visually, which I think really adds to it, because if this game had a bunch of crazy extra little things, it may make it a little too noisy on the screen, And it's already noisy when you get into having hordes of aliens trying to kill you, and you have them coming in for melee attacks, you have them coming in for range attacks, you have enemies charging you. And the simple white color of your character also makes it so you can see all the things he has on him, which, like I said, is something I really enjoy. And yeah, I think that's all. That was the end of it. If you enjoyed this video, like it, maybe subscribe, check out some other stuff, maybe you'll find something you like. If you did enjoy it, dislike it, leave a comment saying you hated it, I don't know, do whatever you like, I guess. And thank you for watching. Peace, I'm out.